Hey guys, Jeff here with Martin Survival. So today I want to go over a medicinal plant that the Kauai Indians used, as well as Indians all over the West Coast. And I have it right here. This is called white sage. So stay with me and let me explain how they use this for medicine and spiritual ceremonies. Alright, so welcome back. Now the first thing I want to say is a lot of people are familiar with sage. There's black sage, there's California sage, sagebrush, and of course the sage that I have here. This is white sage. Especially those of you who are on the West Coast like I am, just about every single tourist gift shop does sell bundles of the leaves, and in common day we use the leaves as an incense burner. This is very, very aromatic. As a matter of fact, I was just scouting around behind a riparian area and I saw this growing. And I actually smelt it from 10 to 15 feet away. It's that potent. I mean, this has a very distinct kind of musky smell to it. Some people don't care for the smell. I personally like it a lot. It's very aromatic. As a matter of fact, I do use this as an incense. I also use it as a car air freshener as well, kind of a natural way to go there. So, you know, a lot of people do know of the white sage being used to common day, or I should say modern day, as an incense. And I'll go into all the spiritual burnings with sage in just a second here. But the first thing I want to go over is the fire use. So a lot of the Native American tribes, the Kauai Indians, as well as Indians all over the West Coast, would use this bottom stalk of the sage as a bow drill spindle. This is a soft wood, so the ember is going to smolder for quite a while and it's going to burn nice and hot. Now this is a little bit thin, as you can see here, but the plant that I harvested this from was a very, very thick plant. The stalk was about like that. So if I would have gathered that, I could shave that down into about the size of my thumb. That's what I go by, the rule of thumb, literally. And I can use that as the bow drill spindle. The top of the stalk is hollow, as you can see here. So that leads me to believe this was never used for a hand drill. They used it most likely for the bow drill. And the Native Americans, you know, they used every part of this plant. They used the stalk, the root, the leaves, the seeds. So anything that they foraged for and harvested, they would use the entire plant. So with that being said, I want to go into, like I said, the spiritual uses. I have a lot of friends that are Native Americans. A lot of them do have Kauai ancestors, and they have Kauai in their blood. And they told me that a lot of the Kauai Indians would use this, and what they would use this for in spiritual ceremonies and gatherings. This would cleanse the spirit. It would get rid of negativity and bad spirits. So they would burn this just like we burn it as an incense in large quantities. Some of them would inhale it and use it kind of as a spiritual remedy. So this was definitely a precious plant to the Native Americans, and I can absolutely see why. So with that being said, you know, leaves were used, like I said, in spiritual ceremonies. Now we'll get into some of the medicinal uses. The first thing is the seeds. This one right here, actually the main part broke off here because it's so dry. Well, not bone dry, but it's starting to deaden out because I did harvest it. But the top here, as you can see, there are seeds that are starting to develop. They won't mature because I did harvest it, but these seeds were used a lot like a chia seed, and they would use this as an eye wash and for eye irritation and whatnot. So they would place that in their eye, and it would relieve a lot of pain. So that is the use for the seeds. The next thing is the leaves, and the leaves were the main part of this plant that was used. Like I said, they would utilize the entire thing, but the leaves definitely a very used material there. So what they would do, the Cahuilla, and once again Indians all over the West, is they would use this first of all for a headache remedy. Anybody who has experienced a bad migraine headache, to modern day we grab the aspirin. The Native Americans, yeah, they had the willow plant that does have aspirin properties in it, but what they would use in a lot of cases is this sage, because it is so aromatic, it is so potent. They would take a big bundle, they would lay it across the top of their forehead, and they would just breathe that in, and it smells so potent and it has that musky smell. It would actually relieve some of the pain, and I can tell you from experience it does work. Definitely a good remedy for a headache or a bad migraine. Definitely very, very good, and I have used it and I will continue to use it. So the next thing they use these leaves for is as a shampoo and a conditioner. So what the Native Americans would do is they would take these leaves, they would pound them down, soak them in water, and let that sit for a good day or so. And what that would do is that water would have that good smelling sagebrush and that kind of musky smell. So they would use it as a hair straightener, they would use it as a shampoo and a conditioner, and they would even use it as a deodorant. So they would actually take some of that water and some of the leaves and rub it underneath their armpit, and that would give the Native Americans a nice musky, pleasant smell, and just excellent smelling. Very, very good. So, you know, those of you who have handled sage, you can kind of see why they would go to this as a shampoo and a body wash. The next thing that they use the white sage for is a cold remedy. So what the Native Americans would do is they would take some of these leaves, they would brew it in a hot tea, they would let that tea kind of cool down, and they would use that for chest pain, sore throats, coughs, and whatnot. And that was a big part of the white sage. They would use that, like I said, for sore throats, kind of like yerba santa is used for. So there are lots and lots of uses, and if I went over every single use with this white sage, I would be here for an hour. So I just named some of the uses. So we have sore throats, we have cough, chest pain, shampoo, conditioner, eye wash, primitive fire, and we just about covered this entire sage plant. But you know, do your own research on this. Once again, make sure you know what you're handling before harvesting it. And that is the white sage. So I appreciate you joining me for this video. I'm Jeff with Martin Survival, and we'll see you in the next one. Ah, smells so good.